Alrighty y'all, this is World Class Jerk, and today we're going to be reviewing every natural and atmospheric resource in Astroneer, and where you can find them, and where you can find them best, because there's an easy way to tell where all resources can be found actually, but we want to know where they can be found best, so that we don't just have a wide variety of places we can find them when some of them aren't as good as others. But there's not so much left to say in this intro, so we're just going to move straight on into the video now. But before we do, you should join my Discord, link in the description to become a jerk today, and you should hit the like button, the subscribe button, tap that notification bell, leave comments and suggestions, and so, without further ado, we're going to move on with the rest of the video. Alright my champions, before we get into this video, we should explain exactly what it is you are getting into, and so we're going to divide this video up into 3 parts. The first part is going to be extra easy natural resources to get, the second part is going to be natural resources to get, and the third part is going to be the atmospheric resources to get. The natural resources obviously being ones you can get straight out of the ground and find on various planets, and the atmospheric ones obviously being ones you can get out of the atmospheric condenser. Furthermore, in addition to telling you where to get these resources, we are going to explain where you can get them best so that you don't go to the planet that's not as good for some of these resources, and that will save you time. But if you just want to know where you can get them and not which place is the best to get them, then you came to the wrong place, my friends, because there's this thing called the Astropedia in the pause menu. Looks like a rocket over here. Come to it, press resources, and once it loads, which it doesn't like to do for me, then it will tell you everything about natural resources, atmospheric resources, and the compounds which you can get in the chemistry looking lab thing, whatever, like chemistry lab, chemistry station or something. Yeah, whatever it's called, and also it tells you what things are when they are smelted, and so that's nice and good. And so yeah. Anyways, if this were a channel that was run responsibly, I would have gone over all these resources in a way where I can remember it and then recite it to you in a way that is smooth. But that's not what this is. So we're going to review my notes together as a family, because I do not remember all my stuff. Except I do remember this part. This is the first part. This is the extra easy resources to get. And so that's what we're going to cover here real briefly before we move on to the others. And so that's going to include compound, resin, organic, clay, quartz, graphite, ammonium, and I did not mean to leave notes beside these or whatever the frick that's supposed to be. But this includes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 resources. But wait, nope, it includes 8, because I also consider laterite super easy to get because it is on all planets, just like these. But the reason I separated it from them is because these can be found in the soil centrifuge as well, so they're kind of different for that reason. And so yeah, that's my super professional notes, and I hope you was able to get something from that. But we are going to move on to the other ones, which are going to be a little more advanced because they have specific planets they're found on and all that fun. So yeah. Anyways, my champions, we are now moving on to the normal natural resources because these are found on specific planets, not on every planet. And so we're going to cover them in more detail just a little bit. And so yeah, but before we get into that, because I am an intelligent young man and also happen to be so handsome, we are going to be, I don't know what handsome had to do with this, but anyways, we're going to be removing them as we go so as to remove any confusion. Get it? Because we're removing I don't know. Look, we're going to remove them as we go so that you can understand the progress through the video, because that's nice and good. But anyways, back to my notes. We have the rest of natural resources all in this segment, and so we're going to cover where to get them and where to get them best. So lithium can be found on Visania and on Novus, and on Visania it's found in the caves, but I still find it to be better, even though you need a drill mod 1, because it just seems like it's more abundant. It is more abundant from my research. You can find a lithium with a lot more abundance on Visania, and so I would go there even though you got to go all the way into the caves and have a drill mod to be most efficient, because there's just more. And Novus, obviously, I list them in order here, because the reason that, Visania is above is because I consider it better, Novus is beneath. I did list these in order of what I think is better, so the one at the top is what I consider the best planet for each of these, and down here, they're basically the same, so I put them on the same line, but honestly, that's not the point yet. So yeah, Novus. The reason it's not as good on Novus to me is because, even though it's found on mountains, which is easier to get to, because Novus mountains are literally just hills, there's just not as much, and so you don't want to waste your time there when you could get it in greater bulk on Visania. But anyways, yes, that is going to be lithium done. Haha, another burden off our shoulders. Anyways, we're going to be moving on to malachite now, which can be found on Silva, which is the starter planet, and Calidor, which is a different one. I don't really know. Alright, anyways, Calidor, and you can find malachite in the caves on Calidor. The thing is, though, that the caves on Calidor are a very sucky place to travel to. Basically, not only does malachite suck on Calidor, but it very sucks. Just don't get malachite on Calidor. I mean, it's not only rare, but it's like, it's real hard to find, okay? And you need a drill mod 1, and it's just a mess. Whereas malachite on Silva is so common that it really wouldn't surprise me if I could see some from here on one of the mountains. And so yeah, just get on the home planet because you're already there, and it's easier to get even if you weren't. yeah, Malachite's definitely way better on the home planet. Anyways, Fowlerite, which when smelted as zinc, but first we gotta remove this. This video is getting a little weird now. The structure's kind of strange, but you know, I'm kind of speedrunning it at this point, so just bear with me here. Anyways, oh! Wait, what did I just do? Why was Laterite first? Wait, why was what's going on? Oh, never mind. I should have removed that before. Anyways, Malachite's gone now instead. And so we have Sphalerite, which when smelted is zinc, and it can be found on the home planet and on Decilo. I can't tell which one is better, but the home planet, technically, I guess, would be better because you're already on it. But on Decilo, it can be found on the surface, and on the home planet, it is found in the caves. But the abundance seems to be about the same on both of them, so, I mean, but don't go to Decilo because you're already on the home planet. But I kind of have to list this by abundance, so technically they are equal in that way from what I can tell. But you obviously want to get it on the planet you're currently standing on instead of leaving, especially since it's very, very common as it stands. But that's that done, and so we're going to be moving on to Wolframite, which when smelted is tungsten. That can be found on Decilo and Calidor, and it's better on Decilo because it just is. I mean, it's found in the caves of Decilo, which makes it a little more annoying than Calidor, because in Calidor, it is found in the mountains. But there is something to mention about Calidor. The mountains on Calidor are kind of weird. They're like plateaus, so to speak, so sometimes you gotta go like all the way up the mountain, which is the equivalent of going down into a Decilo cave, so it's kind of like equal. But there's one key thing about Calidor that we don't like, because the abundance of both of these planets is about the same, but on Calidor, we do need a drill mod, and so Calidor does lose this fight. Yeah, tungsten's better on Decilo from what I can tell, so try to go to Decilo for tungsten, especially in the beginning game. But if you're late game, and you already have a reason to go to Calidor, and you already have a drill mod, then by all means go to Calidor for your tungsten. Same with all this. If the inconvenience that it provides is not relevant to you, then go to the planet that's less convenient if there's a reason to go to that one instead. Hematite, though, which we got to remove our Wolframite for. Yeah, the structure of this video is real weird. I need to start planning ahead better, but I'm too lazy to do that today, so we're just going to keep rolling with it. Hematite is going to be found on Glacio and Novus, and on Glacio, it's not just abundant, it's freaky abundant. It is insane how much hematite you can get on Glacio. There's not much left to say. It's just there's so much hematite on Glacio. So much iron on this planet. And on Novus, it's found in the caves, whereas on Glacio, it's found on the surface. So Novus iron, it's kind of good. It's not really even that abundant. But on Glacio, it's almost impossible to get out of sight of iron if you're on the surface. So go to Glacio for hematite almost every time. Maybe every time, I guess, maybe under certain circumstances, you would go to Novus instead, I don't know. But anyways, that's going to be this one done, so we're going to get rid of hematite now. And then there's titanite, which can be found on Glacio and Visania. It sucks on Visania because it's in the mountains, and from what I could tell, it's not very common at all. And on Glacio, it's in the caves, but you do need a drill mod. Possibly a drill mod 2 to go with the max speed, but a drill mod 1 will suffice in some situations. It depends on where it happens to be. But yes, you may need a drill mod 2, but it's worth it because you don't want to have to go looking around on Visania for it because it's just not as common. Yeah, the commentary's getting weird on this one, but you know, it's just what it is, you know? It is, I don't know. Look, I don't know. We're gonna move on to the atmospheric resources now, though, and so that's fun. Alrighty, my champions, I'm ready to admit it, that last segment was very weird, but, didn't feel like retaking it, so this time we're gonna try to take it a little more slow. Maybe if I don't rap, I'll stop stuttering so much. And so we're going to talk at a normal pace, hopefully. We're going to slow it on down. And so we're going to start off here with hydrogen, which can be found on Visania at 100 ppU, and on the home planet at 75 ppU, and on Calidor at 50 ppU, and on Novus at 25 ppU. Now, technically, by abundance, it is best to get it on Visania, but as before, maybe you want to get it on Silva instead because it's still real good. It's just not quite as good. But you are already standing on the home planet because that's where you are at. You got to consider that. If something's found on the home planet, unless it's absolutely garbage, that's where you want to get it because you're already there. Because here, as you can see, it is 75% as good, but it's like way harder to get the Visania and set up a proper base with proper power and a proper atmospheric condenser, and then transport all the hydrogen back to your home base. Maybe in the late game if you want max efficiency, but not in the early game, not even in the middle game, maybe not even the early late game. So definitely go to Silva, or stay on Silva, for your hydrogen, unless you are really, really wanting that extra 25 ppU. anyways, that'll be hydrogen. Done for, and so we're going to go back to my special notes here, and we are going to move on to argon. 100 PPU on Glacio, 50 PPU on Visania. Nothing special to say there, because honestly, extra go to Glacio. It's probably you know, the best planet in the game other than the home planet. And then the fact that the PPU of the argon's better there leaves you really no reason not to go there. Yeah, I mean, like, if you already have a base set up for lithium or something on Visania, then use it there, I guess, because 50 PPU isn't garbage. But, I mean, if you have a base on Glacio as well, that's where you want to get this done, and so now I'm basically stating the obvious, so I'm just going to sort of blow through these next ones, I guess, because I don't want to waste any more of your time than I have to. Just kidding, I don't care, but actually, I will go faster. And so with methane, we can find it on Aatrox at 100 PPU and on Novus at 75 PPU. Same deal here, 75 is not that much worse than 100, whatever's more convenient for you there. Nitrogen, which, let's get rid of the methane first, because we're being all neat here. Nitrogen, best found on the home planet, and so not much left to say, just get it on the home planet, because you're probably most best set up on the home planet already. So there's literally no reason at all that I can possibly dream up to get it anywhere else. Yeah, so sulfur, after we get rid of nitrogen, of course, is going to be found on Calidor at 100 PPU and on Aatrox at 75 PPU. Now, this is a little, you know, Aatrox has so many gases that you might actually want to set up getting your gases on Aatrox before you do so on Calidor. So if you're in the, again, medium game, maybe even early late game, it's still probably better to get it on Aatrox because 75 PPU is not that much worse than 100 PPU, and so you may just want to get it on Aatrox instead because you might already have stuff there for helium and other Aatrox stuff, like where's it at? Methane. And so yeah, if you already have a atmospheric concentrator set up there, you might want to get it there for a little while. But then, you know, last but not least, actually last but least, because we hate getting helium, because the only place you can find helium in the entire game is on Aatrox, and it's a sucky 25 PPU. Helium is the jerk of Astroneer, but I'm the world-class jerk of Astroneer, so I win. But anyways, you know, that's it. That's basically all there is to say. Helium sucks. Everybody hates it. Everybody hates it, and so... But yeah, that's all good. Oh, you thought that was going to be another awkward outro? Well, you was wrong. We got it all planned up this time, guys. That's going to be it for this one. My champions, I guess I'm calling you that now. Anyways, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, leave comments and suggestions, and join my link cord. Disc in the description is what I was fixing to say, so I guess it's an awkward outro after all. But join my Discord, link in the description, and become a jerk today, because who wouldn't want to become a jerk today? Who? What? I don't know. Look, okay, yeah, I was wrong. It is an awkward outro. It is a curse at this point. There's not a thing in the world I can do to make a normal outro. But have a nice day.